part of the day is, number one, is to remember the fallen heroes who really sacrificed their lives for a better future for the African children. But it's also to raise awareness around existing inequalities or the lack of rights that we see in our society, and that we need to tackle as a whole and collectively. So today is also 30 years since the adoption of the African Children's Charter, and in 2016 there was the African Committee adopted what they call the Agenda 2040. Now we have many agendas. We're very good at the sort of decision-making government level to make many agendas. So we have Agenda 2036, we have Agenda 2040, we have Agenda 2063, and inside the UN, and with all the countries as part of the UN, we have Agenda 2030. But what is really at the heart of these agendas, as Komoto was also saying, is fostering an Africa that is fit for children. And this agenda focuses on the implementation of children's rights and providing a child-centered focus to the broader African Union vision of an integrated, prosperous, and peaceful continent, which is driven by citizens, and it's relying on the power and the potential of African people, particularly women and youth, and caring for its children. That's the vision of Agenda 2040. And this is also a vision that we share as UNDP and as the broader UN family. Like I said, UNDP, which is where we work, works across the globe, where it's trying to help eradicate poverty, it's trying to reduce all these inequalities and the unfairness and the lack of rights that we can see, and to build resilience so that countries can really make progress. Now, we in UNDP, as I said, or in the UN, we have what we call our Sustainable Development Goals, our Agenda 2030. And the purpose of those is really to harness the power and potential of all the countries around the world to call for collective action, basically to end poverty and to protect the planet and to make sure that every person across the world can enjoy peace and prosperity. Now those are big words and a big agenda, so what does it mean for Botswana and what does it mean for you and your futures? How are those big agendas relevant for you? For UNDP here, we want to see a Botswana that is green, which it is, but it's not necessarily sustainable, that is just, that everyone has equal rights, equal potential, equal opportunities, and that it's prosperous. And that goes to what Dr. Tachebo was saying in terms of creating that knowledge-based economy, having those future generations being brought up with the right skills and the right capacities to really drive the economy forward. We want to see a Botswana where women and youth and marginalized groups are all able to participate equally in the development of your country. We want everyone to have the choice and the capacity to solve these development challenges that you face and craft your own path towards a brighter future. And both Komoto and Tachebo spoke about that earlier. It's about making sure that you have the skills and capacities to really craft your own path and to find those solutions and employ them. An important part of our work here is to support the Ministry of Youth and its youth empowerment agenda. So we are just about to start, together with the ministry, the revision of the National Youth Policy. Now, the National Youth Policy is what sets the direction for what the government says is important for you. So we want to make sure and encourage all of you to participate in the discussions that will be held both on social media and across the country over the next few months to really voice your opinions and aspirations so that the policy and what the government does is actually relevant and impactful to you. So call on your local district youth officer, check the online media to see where can you participate, how can you say this is what's important to me, this is what I want to see in the national policy. And this year is also the rollout of an African Youth Connect model. Now, what does this mean? This is a particular project that UNDP has implemented in several countries across Africa. And here in Botswana, we're doing it in collaboration with the Russia UNDP Trust Fund, with the Ministry, of course, and the Botswana Innovation Hub and Dare to Dream. What this Youth Connect project tries to do is it is going to be assisting 36 youth entrepreneurs and startups through tailored entrepreneurship and leadership training and mentorship. And this is, obviously something that Pomosa is very familiar with. It's also what BIH has been doing, and we want to tailor this specifically to youth entrepreneurs and youth startups. We'll also be reaching out to more than 300 youth across the country and bring them into these digital spaces and co-creation spaces for innovation, to engage them in dialogues about issues and concerns that are important to the youth, and in social changes initiatives at the community level. We'll try to link the youth with potential markets, with financing services, investors, mentors, and partners, so that all of you with good ideas actually have the potential to develop them properly. So we hope that with the Youth Connect, which we're just starting this year, that it will really grow in the years to come and become a solid platform and support service that can increase youth job opportunities and startup success rates. Now, on today's day of the International Day of the African Child, we're highlighting the importance of improving education as a critical challenge. Education, skills building, capacity development, all these STEM skills that you're also seeing and getting a feel for today. We really applaud Dare to Dream for being a foundation and a group that really aims to impact young girls, to build that diversity and inclusion and empowering the girl child. It is so, so important also for the success of Botswana as a whole. As I said, through the Youth Connect platform, we hope to be working very closely with Dare to Dream in the years to come, and particularly in supporting young girls like yourselves from different communities across the country, to give everyone an opportunity to explore the possibility of careers in STEM. And through robotics and coding, which I can see on the agenda you're getting a feel for after this. We're really looking forward to getting this work started and to support the efforts to empower young girls like yourselves. You're the ones who will craft the pathways to your future and the future of your country. And that's very, very important to remember. Now, you may not think it, but I was also once a young girl like you, sitting in a classroom listening to people speaking about career opportunities. I grew up on a small sheep farm in the mountains of Norway. I went to a tiny public school with only 30 students across the whole school. There were 5 people in my class. And I was fortunate that I had parents who believed in me. When I said, but I dream of becoming a diplomat. I want to work abroad. I want to work for a better and more just world. My teachers, my neighbors, and my friends didn't necessarily understand it. Most kids around me stayed in the valley. They continued working on their parents' farms, or they took up jobs in the nearby town. When I was around your age, I saw an opportunity for a scholarship to study abroad. And I asked my teacher for the application form. His answer was, there's no point, because I would never make it. The scholarship was too competitive and it was not for kids like me. Now, I refused to give up, and I asked him to give me a copy anyways, and it wasn't for him to make a decision whether I can make it or not. And I made it. I got the scholarship, and this really set me off on a very different path towards what I really wanted, compared to what was expected of me back home. Now, to all of you young ladies here today and taking part of this initiative, I hope you make the best of this opportunity and recognize that it's not enough for governments and organizations such as ourselves at UNDP to put together programs that aim to reduce inequalities and improve education as a whole. But it's for each and every one of you to take up space, to take up opportunities where you see them, to demand your rights, and to change and elevate the direction of your life. There will be plenty of barriers and plenty of glass ceilings to break through, but you can do it. You just need to believe it, and you need to work hard for it. And it won't always be easy, but there are always people and organizations who do believe in you and who will support your journey, just like Komoso and the Dare to Dream initiative. So it's important that as we take part in today's initiative, you recognize the importance of education and that you take ownership of your own educational path. Recognize the historical and current struggles of the African child towards attaining a fair and equal education and opportunity in life. Absolutely. Take the bull by its horns and continue that fight. At UNDP, we will continue to fight alongside you. Everyone deserves a chance at achieving their dreams. So thank you.